What? Bang!
Whoa! Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep, screwed, rep.
Yeah!
Woo! Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable!
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King Randy Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty! I said WWE stands for! It's me, Austin! I will never retire!
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Fro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. And if you're on YouTube, click the bell so they let you know every time a new episode goes live. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling game every single flipping year? Then please put that money back in your pocket. Instead, go to app.wrestlerunstoppable.com right now. Sign up. It is totally free, where you could create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in this game, Wrestler Unstoppable. As I said, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Fro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like my good buddy John down in Texas, then you got to pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Fro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today for this month only, couple days left. Loyalty rewards, $10 a month contributor gets to co-host a show with me. $5 a month, you get entered into a drawing to also co-host an episode with myself. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Fro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want me to touch on in the future episode, you got to head over to the Fro Wrestling Sound Off line. Give us a call at 267-642-1160. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and I will get to those in a future episode. Tonight, we are bouncing all over like a ping pong ball. We got news that normally you try to put an episode together and you have some thematic purpose to it. This is all over the place tonight because that's just what the news dictated today. Where do we start? Let's start with TNA Wrestling. The July 23rd episode of TNA Wrestling was the highest rated show since the AMC move, the premiere episode on AMC. This is a great sign for TNA Wrestling because they have lost so much talent recently. Tons of creative changeover, real uncertainty about the leadership of the company, and this is a great sign. It means that the fans are getting behind the product, the talent, and let's be honest, the talent in TNA, the guys and gals who work their tails off in TNA have always, going all the way back to the inception of the company, all the way through now, they always put their best foot forward. They're always trying to put out the best product they can, and there are weeks where they have some of the best matches in all of the pro wrestling world, and it seems as though they never get the credit for doing so. Back in the day, they did. You could always talk about the AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe triple threat, things like that for the X Division Championship. But nowadays, it's not common that you hear TNA Wrestling mentioned as having the best wrestling in the world. Sometimes they really do. Some of their matches are incredible, and it's great to see them starting to get some of that success, some of that residual benefit from all the hard work they've put in over the years to cultivate the brand. My only concern is when you're seeing numbers like this, it is time for TNA to make a decision. Are we going to sell out the WWE, or are we really going to make a go of this and try to make this a premier brand? Because if you are, I'm fine with them having a working deal with WWE. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of crossover right now anyways. But if you're going to have that, that's fine. However, if you're going to really make a go of this, you need to start signing your talent to long-term contracts. Most of them right now, the philosophy in TNA is short-term deals, employee turnover, keeping costs down, and if you were trying to set up a new company, that makes a lot of sense, but you're an established company that's been there for over 20 years at this point. You need to be signing long-term contracts and start booking long-term storylines. They've been doing a decent job recently in their creative. Keep that creative energy going, keep that positivity going, and keep these ratings going up. It's a great thing to see for them. Jumping over to WWE, word came out that the WWE Hall of Fame for WrestleMania 43, the question all along was, were they going to do the Hall of Fame in New York City, because they were mentioning all those other events going on in New York, or was it going to go to Saudi Arabia? I will tell you, my preference is if you really wanted to pop New York City and maybe even keep Tony Khan at bay, because it sounds like AEW is going to run something that day, those 2 days, then what they should have done is had the Hall of Fame in New York City. Instead, word came out, it will be in Saudi Arabia. Think about how many WWE fans have watched the people going into the Hall of Fame. I'll put it this way. If you're going in the Hall of Fame, your contributions were well before the deal with Saudi Arabia. So which fans should have the opportunity to celebrate with you, to cheer you on, to watch you take that honor and go into the Hall of Fame? I'm call it what you will. I think it belongs stateside or in Canada. I could deal with a Canadian ceremony. I think that'd be fine. Even something in Great Britain where, we had SummerSlam 93, things like that. Some place where the fans that have spent the majority of their time keeping up with the product of the talent that are going into the Hall of Fame can celebrate that achievement. I think this is a bad move. It doesn't look good. It's purely a money grab. We know that. They get paid out the yin-yang for every single thing that that they possibly can from the Saudi government. It gives me just bad vibes. Just saying. Let's talk about SummerSlam weekend. We do know that they are going to be holding tryouts for new talent, and one of the names has come out is KJ Orso. You may remember the name Fuego del Sol in AEW, cruiserweight guy. At the very end of his time in AEW, Cody Rhodes actually donned a mask and teamed up with Fuego del Sol as a tag team. It never went very far. I wish it would have. It actually would have been pretty interesting. But now he will be one of the people participating in the WWE tryouts. I hope they sign him. He is an incredible talent. If you don't remember, go back and watch some early AEW shows. Fuego del Sol was absolutely over. Crazy athletic, and another high flyer, another, I hate when people call them the flippers and all that, flip and floppers and whatever. The guy is a high flyer. He's a risk taker. He's exciting, and that's something WWE never has enough of. They have a lot of these big powerhouse guys and people all points in between, but having another athletic, really exciting, engaging athlete would be a great gift for WWE. Look at what people like Javon Evans are doing and stuff like that. That's the kind of talent we're talking about. Then jumping in, keeping with the NXT theme for a hot second. NXT, they have a streaming deal that is kicking off on August 4th with ESPN Unlimited. All the CW sports programming is going to be shifting to ESPN Unlimited, meaning you're going to be able to watch NXT live from the app, which for somebody like me is a huge deal. When I'm at the gym, I work out late at night, and NXT is on, and I can't get it through. I'm a DirecTV subscriber. I cannot get NXT on the DirecTV app when I'm at the gym because of maybe my plan or whatever it is. But with this, I'll be able to access it through my ESPN Unlimited app starting August 4th, which I get because I'm a DirecTV customer. Think how stupid that is. You won't let me have it with my subscription, but you let me get it in this app that I only get because of your subscription. Very strange, but very big change for NXT and all sports programming on CW. Interesting partnership there. Let's go to AEW for a hot minute. Rhino, former ECW World and Television Champion, former WWE Superstar, former TNA Superstar, is going to AEW. The word is he will have a match either at Collision, at Dynamite. Maybe it'll be dark matches. Maybe it'll be on screen. We don't know. We just know that he is booked for their shows this coming week. And I hope he gets an opportunity to really showcase himself. I hate it when they bring in like a veteran in. Even somebody like Matt Cardona was at the height of his indie god phase, and AEW barely used him. And when they did, it seemed like it wasn't right. Rhino is somebody who could still contribute at a high level. He's got a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge. He's somebody they could really feature in a really cool, nostalgic match, and I hope he gets that opportunity and to really shine on AEW television and not just in some dark match somewhere. Speaking of AEW, we know Tony Khan's looking at some of the free agents that are out there. One of them that may be closer to Tony Khan than people may have originally thought would be Kairi Sane. A lot of people thought she was going to head back to Japan, perhaps go to Stardom, possibly go to, Marigold, Joshi Pro, something like that. But instead, she has picked up a new agent, Barry Bloom, who is historically one of the biggest, most important agents for professional wrestlers and does a lot of business with AEW. So not sure where Kairi's headed next, but when you're hiring a big-time agent like that, it tells me that something big is in her future and she may be looking at making a jump into All Elite Wrestling. Or would he be able to negotiate a return to WWE after everybody's frustration and backlash when she was cut? Don't know. When they're trying to cut salaries, depending on what her interests are, we might see a return at some point. I would not be surprised if we see her going to Japan and doing some things with Stardom. I think that would be a great idea, especially with their partnership with AEW. But definitely some exciting stuff. Now, I'm surprised we haven't seen more debuts yet. Everybody's a free agent at this point. Like, certain ones make sense. Aleister Black, I didn't expect to show up at AEW because of the way he departed and went back to WWE. It also means Zelina Vega probably not going there right away. But some of the others, I thought we would have seen the New Day at Redemption. We did not. I thought we would have seen Kairi Sane. I thought we might have seen some of the Wyatt Six. And instead, we've seen a whole lot of nothing so far. Maybe on Dynamite, I hope, set something up for All In, but we'll have to wait and see. And here's the part where I got to get to the last topic of the night, and it's going to take me a hot minute because it's something that requires quite a bit of conversation, and I apologize for that ahead of time. But I saw a lot of fan conversation online about Ryan Garcia, the WBC welterweight champion that showed up on Raw and attacked Joe Hendry and was a part of the beatdown for Danhausen. And look, here's the thing. I've seen people come out in defense of the use of Ryan Garcia because he's a world champion boxer. I understand that, but you also have to understand the other side of things, and I don't think some people are aware. So I'm going to educate you on the history of Ryan Garcia. And it's not, look, I'm not taking sides with anything. I try very hard on this show not to do that, but it is important to have all the context. Why are people outraged, and why is there so much backlash about his involvement in this segment? Yes, he has a big boxing match coming up. Yes, TKO wants to promote that match. This, I don't think, was the right way to promote the match. Because, let's just talk about some of the issues. One, he is not a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. He's made that very clear on X and other social media. Now, you can feel however you want to feel about that conversation, but I think dignity and respect is something everybody can agree people deserve. And this guy, he doesn't just disapprove. He speaks vilely in a horrible manner towards that community. In addition, the 2024 Summer Olympics had a whole to-do about his frustration with the fact that they had drag queens during the opening ceremony. Again, you can have whatever political opinion you want. I'm not here to judge anybody, but you have to understand why if you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community, if you're a member of the community that supports, is an ally or anything like that, you can understand why these people might be frustrated. Then, June 2024, his lady in his life at the time, it contacts the police department. He's at the Waldorf Astoria where he has a room, and he totally destroys the room. $15,000 in damage. He gets booked for vandalism and still could see up to a year in prison because of that infraction. Apparently, it's just been pushed off. But concerns about violent behavior. And then July 2024, using racial slurs, claiming he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, derogatory marks, calling himself an anti-black, anti-Muslim, talking about George Floyd. Again, when it comes to the Floyd stuff and stuff like that, you can have whatever opinion you want. I'm not here to judge, but it's 2026. Anybody who supports the Klan, I have a problem with. Anybody who's anti-black, I have a problem with. You know, you can't, it's 2026. What have you not learned about basic genetics that you still feel that way? And then, to follow it up, when he was getting so much hate, the WBC at the time expunged him from their company for a while. Now he's back being their welterweight champion, but for a while, he was expelled from the company. And then when he started seeing all the flack come in, he tried to roll it back a little bit. Oh no, I was just trolling people. You weren't trolling people. You gave in-depth conversation. repeated conversation about these horrible topics, and your verbiage was incredibly disrespectful. So when people are given attitude about why are people in such an uproar about this guy being involved in a WWE show, I just listed, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things that he said that are completely inappropriate. And let's liken it to somebody in the pro wrestling world. Hulk Hogan gets a whole lot of attitude about the horrible things that he said. Justifiably so. I have no problem with people holding a grudge against Hulk Hogan. He said some horrible things. This guy said 100 times more things, and WWE is featuring him on Monday Night Raw. They're promoting his fights. I can't even wrap my brain around that. There are ways to promote things. WWE should not be involved in the promotion of this fight at all. If TKO wants to promote it, make it one of the ad breaks, or a lead-in ad, or an exit ad, something. But don't put it mid-program, and certainly don't have the most controversial guy on the fight, at that fight night, coming out and getting involved with your talent. It's a bad look. But I've seen online various media outlets reporting, I think E-Wrestling News and WrestleZone, WrestleZone and Wrestling Inc. all reporting that basically, as long as you're not in jail, WWE doesn't care. TKO doesn't care. And that's a problem. You are creating superstars that are role models for children, and then you're putting something like this on television. I have a problem with that. If you don't agree with me, you feel free to not tune in. I'm not going to judge you. But please don't judge me either. I'm being very honest with you, Just saying. And if that's a problem, like I said, unsubscribe. Don't listen. There's a million wrestling podcasts. You don't have to listen to mine. Here's the shocking thing. I would encourage you to realize that I have yet to hear one podcast today, and I've listened to a ton, that don't agree with me on this topic. It's 2026. Stop the hate. Spread love. Spread acceptance. Spread tolerance. Spread understanding. Spread compassion. Stop spreading hate. It has no place in a modern civilized society. Thank you so much for those people who listen to this part of the episode. I know when you tune into my show, it's typically more laid back and more fun and stuff like that. And maybe I got a little serious about this because it is serious. And for anybody who's experienced some of that hate, I hope there's always an ally out there. I am one. Feel free to reach out on social media. I'm happy to talk to anybody who needs to talk, anybody who's going through it. If you are somebody who is perpetrating that hate, please seek help, seek counseling, seek guidance, find a spiritual leader, somebody to walk you through it and understand. Read some religious text. Whatever that denomination is that you belong to, I couldn't care less. I'm a freedom of religion guy. I don't care what your religion is, but read them, because most of those religious texts, unless you're a radical extremist one way or the other for whatever religion, most of the fundamental religions in the world are very tolerant of other people. I hope you would be too. Again, sorry for the rant. I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm a social studies teacher at heart to begin with. That's my day job, so you can understand why I might take this very seriously. I have children that I have to lead every day into a world that has too much divisiveness and too much anger, frustration, and non-acceptance of others. And it's just something I'm very passionate about. So again, I apologize for the rant, but I hope you understand it was necessary in my mind. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode where we run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks as always to Suno for creating the music and sound effects I use in the show. If you're looking to bring a new friend to family game night, it's easy. Grab a copy of the game Sketchy People, available right now at thegamecrafter.com by Beezle Games, where you can, exercise your creative juices in this combination of chutes and ladders and Pictionary in a way. Very cool stuff. Grab a copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, maybe you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life educational planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Wrestling Podcast.